Basketball fans, thanks for tuning in to NBA Now, and I want to ask you one simple question before we get into today's news and rumors. I just want you to subscribe if you are an NBA fan, because our NBA fan base here on Chat Sports is growing like crazy thanks to the NBA Finals, the NBA Draft that's coming up, and NBA free agency, which should start in December. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead, scroll on down, and hit that big red subscribe button. The first rumor to start off today's show surrounds the New York Knicks and Victor Oladipo. The latest rumor coming out from Mark Berman is that the New York Knicks are actually prioritizing a potential offseason trade to land Victor Oladipo, the former two-time All-Star, in a New York Knicks jersey. Now, part of that rumor and part of that report from Mark Berman is that, yes, New York is a little bit interested in Chris Paul, but they are prioritizing Victor Oladipo over Chris Paul at this point in time. Now, as I have heavily reported here on Chat Sports, and you guys have probably seen multiple times, we know Oladipo wants out. We know that he is ready to move on from the Pacers. In the last 4 years, the numbers have been all over the place. You look at 2017, 2018, and 2018, 2019 before his injury that season, he was an all-star, putting up 20 points per game, and then 19 points per game. Now, the year before that, in 2016-17, when he was with the Oklahoma City Thunder, he didn't really look like he was worth the number 2 overall pick that he once was coming out of Indiana. And then this last year, we only saw him in like 13 games, and he wasn't very good because he wasn't fully healthy. Now, Mark Berman, along with this entire rumor, put out a trade that he said, quote, might wet the Knicks' whistle, or the Pacers' whistle, to make them move Oladipo to New York. And this is what he reported. So let me preface this because I know you guys are always like, Jimmy, you come up with the craziest trade ideas. This is not me. This is Mark Berman. He said the Pacers could land Dennis Smith Jr., Julius Randle, and 2 first-round picks from the Dallas Mavericks to get Victor Oladipo on the New York Knicks. So with that trade idea in mind, this is a potential starting 5 for New York next season. I think you just play Victor Oladipo at the point guard position. We've seen him do it before. We've seen him do it as an all-star. I think he can do that once again. You play RJ Barrett, who I believe had an underrated rookie season. I think he's really good. He's a little bit inefficient, but he's getting there. Kevin Knox, who I actually am still a believer in. I saw recently Bleacher Report called him a bust already. I'm not ready to do that. Mitchell Robinson, you start him at center. He is a great starting center for the long haul. And then in my latest mock draft, I actually had Obi Toppin as the number 7 pick for the New York Knicks. And I believe if they can take him at 7, he will be their starting power forward. Now, you saw the trade idea, which again was not mine. It was Mark Berman's. But who do you think says no? Type IND for the Indiana Pacers or NYK for the New York Knicks. The Knicks get a former 2-time All-Star who's a little bit injury-prone right now. The Pacers get Julius Randle, a project point guard in DSJ, and then 2 first-round picks from the Dallas Mavericks in 2021 and 2023. If you're asking me, I think New York says no. A little bit too much to give up, but I do think the Pacers could and I think the Pacers could potentially make that deal if the Knicks are willing to offer it. I just don't see it happening. Now let's go to Jrue Holiday of the New Orleans Pelicans. The latest rumor around him, the Denver Nuggets are expected to pursue him in an offseason trade. Much like Victor Oladipo, he is still under contract with his current team, but a trade could get done between Denver and New Orleans. Now, we all know Jrue Holiday as an elite defensive guard. Although he got snubbed from the first team all-defense, I really do think he deserved a spot there. And if you put him in Denver right now, he immediately becomes that missing third piece that would push that team over the top. A team that was already in the Western Conference Finals, and I believe could get right back there with the right moves in play. Now, Holiday is a great defensive player, as I mentioned, but he also scores the ball very, very well and shoots the ball pretty efficiently from beyond the three-point arc as he led this young Pelicans team almost to the 8th seed in the Western Conference with that number 1 pick, Zion Williamson. Now, this trade idea is mine. I will take full credit for this. You can hate me in the comment section all you want, or you can show me all the love and tell me whether this was good or bad, but I really think this gets it done on both ends for a couple reasons. Number 1, Holiday to Denver. Then the Pelicans, they get Gary Harris, who I believe is a great starting 2-guard or a great 6-man. Monty Morris, who proved to be a great backup point guard in the NBA playoffs. Keita Bates-Diop, who really hasn't gotten a shot with the Nuggets, but on the right team can really prove to be a solid defensive wing off the bench. And then they get the pick from the Houston Rockets, which is going to the Denver Nuggets, goes to New Orleans. So they can continue to build around young talent. The main reason I think the Pelicans say yes to this is because you get 3 young players and a draft pick in return for a 30-year-old guard who could leave in free agency in just a couple of years anyway. Denver does it because they get a 3rd star. So I want to know from you guys, who will Holiday be playing for next season? Shout it out in the comment section down below whether you think it's Denver, maybe you think he stays with the New Orleans Pelicans, or maybe you think he can go somewhere else completely different. Go ahead and shout it out down below, and I'll take a look and see what I think about your idea. If he goes to Denver, though, if they can make this trade happen, this is the team to beat in the West outside of the Lakers and outside of the Clippers. Maybe even better than the Los Angeles Clippers. They now have Jamal Murray, who I was a little 50-50 on going into the bubble. He goes into the bubble and proves that I'm an idiot, and Jamal Murray is a really, truly deserving of being an all-star next year. Jrue Holiday is your starting 2 guard. You immediately upgrade defensively. I think you start Will Barton at the 3 if he's 100% healthy. I have MPJ in there because Jerami Grant is a free agent. And then, of course, the all-NBA center, Nikola Jokic. Now, I'm not 100% sure if he will get traded. I'm not 100% sure if the Pelicans want to trade him, but if they want to, I think Denver is a really great team to acquire Jrue Holiday this offseason. Now, one thing you should acquire or should have already acquired a long time ago are these NBA-themed face masks from Fanatics. When you go to chatsports.com/NBA mask, you can get your favorite team mask for up to 30% off. That's right. There's a deal on these today. They're shipping free and they're 30% off, but you got to go to that link. Go ahead, open up the tab. You can click the little plus sign, open the tab. You can hear my voice in the background. Go to chatsports.com/NBA mask. Best place to go to rep your favorite team and keep yourself and all of those around you safe and healthy. That's, again, chatsports.com/NBA mask for 30% off and free shipping today. Now, our next rumor here on Chat Sports is all around Buddy Hield of the Sacramento Kings. Buddy Hield has reportedly soured on his relationship with Luke Walton. Communication is not good between them right now. However, Sacramento does still expect him to report to training camp. We all know Buddy Hield ever since he's come out of Oklahoma, much like producer Sam knows that he is an elite shooter, and he will always be an elite shooter, whether he's at OU, whether he's in New Orleans, whether he's in Sacramento, or whether he's wherever he could be next year if the Kings don't fire Luke Walton. Now, I want to take a look at his shooting percentages and his numbers over the past 4 years because they have been elite. 2nd in three-pointers made this past year, 4th in three-pointers made the year before that, 20th the year before that, and 29th the year before that. So you can see he's continuing to climb the ladder of efficient three-point shooting because he also has not shot less than 39% from 3 in the past 4 years, his best being in 2017-2018 when he shot the ball 43.1% from 3 that season. Now, this report is coming out from The Athletic. He said Buddy Hield has soured on Walton to the point that he will not answer his coach's phone calls. Messages to Hield's agent, Brandon Rosenthal, were not returned. So not only is it Buddy Hield saying, no, I'm not talking to Luke Walton. Dude's a bum. He's not a good coach. I don't want to play for him. He won't even talk to his agent. The agent won't even talk to Luke Walton or the Kings. So there's clearly something going south in Sacramento, and Buddy Hield might be gone sooner rather than later. So what I want you to do is scroll down to the comment section. Let me know which team needs to make a move for Buddy Hield this offseason. I'll tell you one team that I think would be a perfect fit, the Philadelphia 76ers. You got to have shooting around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and Buddy Hield's already liked Instagram posts about going to Philly, so I think it could happen this offseason. Make sure to stay tuned. Now let's talk about Jerami Grant of the Denver Nuggets. The latest rumor around him is that there are 3 lottery-bound teams interested in the Denver Nuggets small forward/power forward. However, along with that report came with the report that Denver is likely to re-sign Jerami Grant for 4 years, $64 million. So you can already tell he's going to get a sizable pay increase this offseason after really an incredible playoff showing against LeBron James and the Lakers and all throughout the bubble with the Denver Nuggets. Now you say, okay, Jimmy, I want to know about those 3 lottery teams. Don't worry, we got it for you. The 3 teams that are interested in Grant this offseason, the Atlanta Hawks, so they want to put him with Trae Young and John Collins and Kevin Huerter and DeAndre Hunter and whoever they draft this year. the Detroit Pistons, which I don't understand, honestly, because I think they need to prioritize Christian Wood in the offseason, and they already have Blake Griffin and Sekou Doumbouya, who can kind of play that hybrid forward position as well. But the team that makes the most sense to me that is on this list that has reportedly already shown interest in Jerami Grant is the Phoenix Suns. The lottery-bound Phoenix Suns that haven't made the playoffs for what seems like since Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire were there, and they're looking to get into it next year. Now, they went 8-0 in the bubble this season, and Devin Booker looked like a bona fide superstar. They have the young talent, but they don't have winning pieces right this minute that can help them get to the playoffs. That's what Jerami Grant is. He is a winning player. So you put him on this Phoenix team, and all of a sudden, I think it takes a huge step forward for a lot of reasons. Let's break down what I'm seeing on the court right now. You put Ricky Rubio at the point guard position or whoever they draft with that 10th overall pick, like a guy like Killian Hayes or Tyrese Halliburton. Devin Booker in the backcourt with him. I think you got to start Mikal Bridges because I believe this dude is going to make multiple All-NBA defensive teams by the time his career is done. DeAndre Ayton in the middle, I think people overlook him because how good Luka and Trae Young have been. The dude is still a great center. Jerami Grant, you immediately plug him into the starting power forward position. Now you have two elite defensive players in Grant and Mikal Bridges. You can bring Kelly Oubre off the bench. You can bring Cam Johnson off the bench, and you get to draft a guy at 10 overall. If Phoenix can land Jerami Grant, if they're not afraid to spend some money on Jerami Grant, I believe this could be a playoff team next season. I think they'll probably fight for the 8 seed. I don't know. I'm not going to call them a lock, but I do think they will really be in the hunt for that 8 seed. So if you've made it to this point in the video, that means you are an elite NBA fan. I mean, this means you are one of the top NBA fans. So what I want you to do, because I think you can do it, is predict the top 8 teams in the Western Conference next season. So I want you to go 1 all the way down to 8. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you put the freaking Minnesota Timberwolves at number 1. But I want you to predict all 8 in the comments section below.